The town of Olu had a heartbeat of its own. Every morning, the streets buzzed with life. Children running to school, traders calling out their prices, and engines humming as buses and lorries began their daily journeys. And at the very center of all this stood the grand mansion of Mr. Aka, a man so wealthy that people joked his money had its own shadow. His house was a masterpiece, painted in warm golden tones, surrounded by a towering fence, and guarded by two large metal gates that gleamed under the sun. Servants bustled around from dawn to dusk, polishing cars, trimming flowers, and carrying trays stacked with food. Inside the mansion, Aka walked through a spacious living room decorated with expensive art pieces and sparkling chandeliers. Everything in his life looked perfect, but only on the outside. At night, when the rest of the world slept peacefully, Aka lay awake staring at the ceiling, his thoughts racing. What if the lorry breaks down? Did the driver handle today's money correctly? What if thieves climb over the fence tonight? He tossed to the left. He tossed to the right. He punched his pillow. Still, sleep refused to visit him. One night, he groaned and sat up. Another sleepless night. Wonderful. I have all the wealth in the world, but not a single minute of peace, he muttered. He slipped into his slippers and began his nightly routine, walking around the house like a security guard. As he reached the back fence, he heard it. A long, deep, peaceful snore. It rose like a gentle drumbeat through the night. Aka blinked. What on earth is that? He leaned closer to the fence. There it was again, another heavy, contented snore, followed by a soft mumbling, as if someone was talking in their sleep. Who sleeps like this? Aka whispered. And then he remembered. Behind his luxurious estate lived his neighbor, Oyo, a humble man with a small house held together by patches of love and hope. Aka shook his head. This man has almost nothing, yet he sleeps as if he owns the world. Meanwhile, I have everything, but I can't sleep for even an hour. How is that fair? Night after night, it was the same. Aka pacing. Oyo snoring like a satisfied lion. Oyo was a poor man, but no one carried joy the way he did. He lived with his wife and 2 children in a modest little home where the curtains were handmade and the floor creaked when you walked too fast. One evening, Oyo's wife laughed as she set dinner on the table. "My dear husband," she teased, "you snore so loudly that I'm surprised the roof stays on." Oyo laughed heartily. "My dear wife, I snore loudly because I live lightly. When you have nothing to worry about, your sleep is powerful." They both burst out laughing. Their lives were simple, but they held on to something priceless, contentment. One morning, unable to stop thinking about his neighbor's peaceful sleep, Aka called out one of his servants from his gate. He instructed him to go and call his neighbor Oyo and his for him. When both entered his compound, he said, "Oyo, please come over. I want to speak with you." Oyo hurried toward him, wiping his hands on his shirt. "Good morning, sir. I hope all is well." Aka smiled. "Sit with me." They sat at a small table in the garden. A servant brought juice, and Oyo stared at the glass as if it were a luxury throne. "That cup looks expensive," he whispered. "I should drink slowly." Aka laughed. "Oyo, I hear you snoring every night." Oyo almost choked on his juice. "Oh dear, is it that loud?" "Loud enough to frighten a wild animal," Aka teased. They both laughed. "But tell me," Aka continued, leaning in, "you have so little. How do you sleep with such peace?" Oyo shrugged. "Well, sir, when you have very little, there is very little to worry about." Aka sighed. "I wish I had your peace. I have everything, yet the fear of losing it keeps me awake." A thoughtful silence followed. Then Aka cleared his throat. "Oyo, I want to give you something. A gift." He signaled a servant, who brought out a heavy bag and placed it on the table with a solid thud. Oyo's eyes grew wide. "Sir, what is in this bag?" "Money," Aka said warmly. "A lot of it. Use it to improve your life." Oyo stuttered. Sir, this is too much. Are you sure? Positive, Aka replied. Oyo glanced at his wife, who was just sitting beside him. Her jaw dropped. Oh my goodness. Thank you, sir. Thank you, she cried. They danced. They laughed. They blessed him. But the celebration would not last. That night, the house was unusually quiet. Oyo and his wife sat on the bed, staring at the bag of money sitting in the corner like a sleeping tiger. Should we hide it? His wife whispered. Yes, but where? Under the bed? Thieves always check there first. What about the ceiling? It might fall on us at night. Maybe we should bury it outside? What if a dog digs it up? What if we take it to the bank? His wife asked suddenly. Oyo shook his head slowly, looking troubled. My dear, you know we can't do that. We are not educated. We barely understand bank paperwork. And we have no idea how to invest money. If we go there, they might even think we stole it. They argued, whispered, tiptoed, panicked, but they did not sleep. The next night was worse. Every sound felt suspicious. A goat bleated outside. Oyo jumped. A thief! The wind blew. His wife gasped. That's it. They're coming. 3 nights passed. 5 nights. 7. Their eyes had dark circles. Their voices were cranky. Their laughter dried up. Finally, one morning, Oyo groaned. My dear wife, I cannot do this anymore. This money is stealing our sleep. His wife nodded quickly. Please return it. I miss your loud snoring. Oyo carried the money back to Aka's house. He knocked softly. Aka opened the door and gasped. Oyo, you look exhausted. Sir, Oyo said weakly, I am returning the money. But why? Aka asked. Oyo sighed deeply. Since the moment you gave it to us, we have not slept. We worry all night. What to do with it, where to hide it, how to protect it. Our hearts are restless. His wife stepped forward. We were happier in our simple life than we are with this wealth. Please take it back. We want our peace. Aka stared at them, speechless. Then slowly, understanding washed over him. That night, he stood once more by the fence. He waited. And then, a loud, peaceful snore echoed from Oyo's home. Aka smiled softly. That, he whispered, that is the sound of true wealth. Moral of the story. Peace of mind is greater than riches. A simple life filled with contentment is richer than a troubled life filled with wealth. Happiness does not come from what you own. It comes from a heart at ease. And so, dear viewer, this story reminds us that peace of mind is one of the greatest gifts God can give. Wealth may shine on the outside, but true rest comes from a heart that is content and a spirit that trusts God. Aka learned that riches cannot buy sleep, and Oyo learned that peace is more valuable than gold. As you go about your day, I pray that God fills your heart with peace, contentment, and wisdom. Whether you have much or little, may you always rest in His grace. Remember, stay grateful, stay faithful, and above all, stay prayerful. Stay prayed up, because God watches over those who trust Him. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. God bless you.